of rockets and missiles falling in their homes and streets, schools and kindergartens. For 3 years, our unit had to juggle between the Israeli security requirements, the Palestinian needs, and the international community interest in Gaza. Guys, as I said at the beginning, I understand you have something to say. I understand you have some questions. You want to say something. I will be more than happy to stay and listen, and I'll be more than happy to listen to your questions and to answer everything. So please. In 2009, the IDF decided to launch a wide military operation against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Our directive from Ministry of Defense was to prevent any kind of humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip. As I said, we have to juggle between the Israeli security requirements, the Palestinian daily needs, and the international community interest in the Gaza Strip. The challenge was that from one hand, we had to fight an enemy, the Hamas. But from the other side, we never viewed the Palestinian population as our enemy. That's why we did everything we could to improve the quality of life of the Palestinian population, including bringing in tons of medical supplies, food supplies. During the military operation, I was sent into the Gaza Strip in the middle of the operation, into the heart of the battle zone, just to coordinate these hundreds of trucks on a daily basis going into the Gaza Strip from the different crossings, so the ordinary Palestinians will have their food and medical supplies and water, so their life will be as normal as possible while we are trying to fight the enemy, which is the Hamas terror organization. For example, we also deal with the security fence. As you know, since 2000, hundreds of attacks of suicide bombers in Israel, in buses, in restaurants, in shopping malls, where hundreds of Israelis were killed. So Israel decided to build a security fence to defend its citizens. So we deal with, on a daily basis, with the humanitarian needs of the population. We make sure that they still have access to water, education, family, work, etc. Now the problem is, I'm going back now to the operation in Gaza. The problem was that once we brought in all these goods and thousands of tons of food and medical supplies, unfortunately Hamas took over it and decided to whom they want to distribute it. So of course they distributed it to the ones who support them. And the rest, they sold in the black market to fund their activities. So if someone caused some humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip, it was not Israel. Personally, I was coordinating hundreds of trucks going in on it every day during the military operation into the Gaza Strip. I think I said it more than once, we don't see the Palestinian population as our enemy. When we are, for example, during the military operation, we were texting, sending thousands of text messages to the people before we are going to attack, to give them time to evacuate themselves, because we don't want the civilians to get hurt. We were sending thousands of leaflets from helicopters before we are going to attack, so they will not be there. But actually we were informing our enemy where and when we are going to attack, but still, people's lives are precious and we do not want to hurt ordinary civilians. From the other side, unfortunately, Hamas was using these civilians, were using children and women as a human shield. They put them on the rooftops, so the Israeli forces or the aircraft will not attack, and they will not attack. Unfortunately, they were shooting the missiles and the rockets from schools and hospitals, from neighborhoods, actually using the people as human shields. But the IDF, when trying to launch or to fight the enemy, the Hamas, is trying to minimize the casualties among civilians, while Hamas aiming its rockets to the most populated areas in the cities of Ashdod and Ashkelon and Sderot on a daily basis. So Israel understand, and you pick any average Israeli and ask him about the conflict, he will tell you the same. The Palestinian people are not our enemies. Our enemies are the Hamas, the Islamic Jihad, We do not, all of us, want to solve the conflict. We reach our hand to peace, but unfortunately the other side, we can't find his hand on the other side. We do find education to hate. Today, still in the Palestinian education system, children are educated and just to hate Israel. Israel will not show in the Palestinian geography books, will not show in the Palestinian history books. They name streets after suicide bombers. So if the children are growing up in that way, I'm really hard to believe that we can find a partner on the other side. But still, we're trying. In the Israeli education system, you will find the Palestinian people, you will find the Palestinian territories, you will find the West Bank and Gaza. It's not happening on the other side. As I say, we divide between the two Palestinian population, ordinary civilians that are not involved in terror, and the terrorists. We are willing to compromise, we are willing to sit together, because frankly, we do understand and believe that the Palestinians are not our enemies, they are just our partners, they are our neighbors. We share the same piece of land, and hopefully they will be our partners to peace in the future, as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
We have the opportunity to stay in dialogue and ask a question.
If you have to go, please make your way out. Quickly and finally, so we can continue with our vote. I understand the commissioners often want to leave to their own notes. Please just ensure that you are not being disruptive. Thank you. If you're sitting far back and now there's a seat open in front of you, please feel free to move up. Again, we're sorry that so many people are missing the opportunity to have a dialogue, but
I'm gonna have to ask you to put that down. There's no photography or videography here.
It's free country, man. It's not Israel.
Indeed it is.
It's not